Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Fourth and Neat. I'm Fred Minnick, joined by Pro Football Hall of Famer Jared Allen. How's it going, brother?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm living the dream. Got,
Viva los sueños, they call that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
My whole family is like learning Italian because we're going to Italy next year.
Nice.
And so every night they're speaking Italian. And they're like, "Hey, Dad, why aren't you participating? Why aren't you learning this?" And I told one of them, I said, "Son, there's just the brain can't take too much more right now, so I'm not adding Italian in there.
It's not. My bandwidth is maxed.
Yeah, there's no more. I got to delete something for the Italian to come in, and there's. I'm already kind of like
you're gonna have to go get Starlink. How do I get Starlink up here?
Yeah. Just implant me with the Star Trek.
I feel like with AI now, though, that's coming, right? Like I could just have like a microphone that's just speaking Italian for me. Like, hold on, just speak into this. I mean, pretty much already does with the translator.
Yeah, they already have it. Yeah, it's already out there.
Speak into here. It talks to me. I talk to you. Bada bing, bada boom. As someone who's married to an Italian, whose family comes from like the Basilicata area of Italy.
Oh.
Like just speak like this, and
with your hands,
and in Italy you pronounce every syllable, every vowel, right?
Yeah.
So you'll be all right over there. And they all speak English.
I'm not worried at all.
Yeah, they all speak English. Where are you heading?
I think we're staying in either Naples or Sorrento, and I've actually been to both. And it was fascinating.
Well, if you make your way to the Amalfi Coast, let me know. I got some friends that live over in Ravello.
Oh, I do like the Amalfi Coast. It's nice.
It's a beautiful place. Beautiful.
I gotta break out my Speedo there.
Yeah, I rock the Speedo every day. You want to hear something funny about my honeymoon? No
Let's
joke.
Go.
So day one, wore board shorts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Norwegian. So there's no tanning in my system usually. It's white and red. Those are the two levels I go. So day one, we're by the pool having a good old time. You know what? My wife convinces me, hey, when in Europe, do what the Europeans do. Speedo it is. Okay, cool. Well, I got a little sunburn day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So day two, I didn't wear like they had different styles of Speedos, right? So this Speedo covered a little bit more of my thigh. But long story short, as my Speedo got shorter, so did the lines, like because the red to the new red, it doesn't fully just blend. You see what I'm saying? So I had like board short line, then there was a gap, and then I had kind of lower Speedo line, and then I went full Speedo. And no joke, Tommaso, kind of the concierge of our stay, was there. He came up to I'm laying there in my Speedo with my multi layers of tan lines on my legs, and he comes up to my wife and he's like, "Yeah, miss, you are so beautiful. Why you with this guy?" I'm like, "Tommaso, I will slap you right now." He's like, look at him. And he's just pointing out my Speedo tan line. She wasn't wrong. But was it, did he have to be so honest? No. But yeah, that's my Speedo story of Europe. And it's fantastic.
That's awesome.
And then I just rocked it. I just rocked the candy striped legs and went for it.
So let's stay in this kind of like a little Italian, this Italian sphere.
I'm feeling good.
And we're going to do a little bit of a Jared Allen reaction to some headlines in the news. And one of those comes from Scientific American, which is a great publication. I actually used to write for them. I used to write a lot of alcohol stories for them, including I did a whole thing about gluten-free vodka and how that was a big giant scam back in the day. That was probably my favorite story I wrote for them. But all the people who have celiac that disease, like, man, if they get near any kind of gluten, those poor people, man, I feel so bad for them. It's like one of the worst diseases you could have for your gut. So bad.
There are fixes though. You can that's a whole nother ball of wax we can go down.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like this is going to open some wax doors for us here. So this headline: leftover pizza is actually healthier The Science of Resistant Starch Explained. Yep. And here's a quote from the researcher. When you cool a pizza to below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, some of the starches in the dough will start to mingle together to form these long-chain resistant starches. They resist digestion, and another word for a carbohydrate that resists digestion is fiber. And even if you reheat the pizza, the chains stay intact, so your body doesn't break them down to sugar. They mostly pass through. This could help with blood sugar spikes for people with diabetes or people who are just looking for fiber for a healthier gut. What's your thoughts?
This one I actually knew because it's the same as cold potatoes. So cold potatoes do the same thing. Cold starches bind together, yada, yada, yada. And they basically, you can eat them without the fear of weight gain, like you said, sugar spikes. And the reason the sugar spikes are important because when sugar spikes in your body releases insulin, right? And leftover insulin stores as fat. And visceral fat being the worst of all fats, right? And when the fats to get around your organs. So this one actually doesn't surprise me. I still think you should probably, limit the amount of pizza. I would be more worried about not even the pizza. I would be more worried about it, all the chemicals like the glyphosate and all that stuff in there. But yeah, I love leftover pizza. Cold pizza might be the greatest thing ever. And now there's a benefit to it. So, I would just say make sure it's organic with organic ingredients and have at it, people.
Do you remember ESPN had that show, Cold Pizza? Do you remember that show?
I do not.
That was one of the very first shows on ESPN, and it was like the first iteration of the morning shows that they used to try to do. And the first time when I saw this article, I was like, what a lost opportunity for cold pizza from like 20 years ago.
Right? That's what I'm talking about. But think about it. The world, cold pizza is like, there's just something about it. Even my kids love cold pizza. When we have pizza, or we make pizza, leftover pizza, and then cold pizza in the morning. I don't know why cold pizza in the morning is like the best, but you walk in and go, like, I can make an omelet right now, or
and have that cold pizza. Anyway, so I guess that brings the question too, like, if you're in like this healthy mindset, do you just get the pizza and throw it in the refrigerator, or is like the frozen pizza actually better for you?
No, frozen pizza. Because I still look at the ingredients in the dough, right? What kind of ingredients are in your dough? What kind of, the cheeses, the meats, the vegetables and stuff. I mean, and if you think about it, pizzas kind of hits all food groups.
It does.
It might be the greatest thing ever invented. You got vegetables, you can get proteins on there. Unfortunately, pepperonis and salamis, even, it's hard to find organic stuff like that, but even from Italy and even the best pasture-raised stuff, cured meats, a lot of nitrates sometimes not the best for you. But you take that out, right? Take that out.
All right, Jared, hold on. I cannot let this pass. Eat nitrates aside, thou shalt not speak ill of pepperoni.
Oh, I'm with pepperoni. I can't eat it right now, but I love me some pepperoni. Don't get me wrong. It is, but like I said, with that said, I look at more, I don't look at pizza as totally like, the fats and that kind of stuff because I'm a big, I think, full whole foods, healthy fats are great. I don't believe in the non-fat diet crap. Because that just replaces fast with sugar and then you get fat, all that stuff. But anyways, I think pizza's fantastic. I think it might be the world's perfect food. I mean, think about it. Protein, carbs, fiber,
Yep.
So yep. I look at more of what's in the ingredients and then leftovers, put it in you're getting a double whammy. You're getting a delicious meal at night and then you're getting a healthier meal in the morning. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right, so we're gonna skip food for a second and get into something a little bit more serious.
Oh, we got to go down this rabbit hole. I'm surprised we haven't gone down this rabbit hole yet.
I know, and it's something that has been talked about a lot, but the FBI is taking it very seriously, especially in this holiday season, and that is AI-generated kidnapping scams are basically coming, and it's not just. I think where things have changed is that criminals are now using AI-generated photos and videos of people's loved ones to create virtual kidnapping scams for ransom. The FBI warned this past Friday, and this comes from Axios. The big picture is AI-related scams from widespread voice cloning tools to increasingly realistic AI-generated pictures and videos are leaving people more vulnerable to fabricated crimes.
Dude, it's insane. Literally, my wife and I were just talking about this. It's like, you don't even want to send out your Christmas cards anymore because you got someone's got a picture of your family and they can use an AI to make it do all sorts of weird stuff, right? No joke. So my girls we were at the Chiefs game. I got to meet, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that, right? Took pictures. They were very gracious. It was awesome. And I sent a picture to my stepdad or whatever, right? He sends the picture back of a video of like my girls and, dancing with Travis Kelce. And I mean, you could tell like, there's like a fourth arm in there at some point, but at first glance, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, what? That's kind of cool. Right. But you're like, completely generated a video out of a photo, right? And you're like, that's absolutely insane. So yes, I think this is crazy. How we don't have checks and balances on this. Like, I get it. Like, the internet's always been the Wild West. AI feels like even more than the Wild West, like the gold rush where people just, that's my claim. You're dead, But yeah, I mean, there was a story, I think it was last year. Don't quote me on it. I want to say it was in Tennessee, but no joke. A girl got a phone call, right? Said it was from her mom. The voice sounded like her mom telling her to meet her somewhere, but somehow in the conversation trend, she was like, and then she had like the Life 360 app or something so she could see her mom was still at work. And it was an AI generated phone call for like to have her go meet her mom and be kidnapped.
Wow.
I mean, not to mention you could take photos. There's a whole thing, even at schools now, they're talking about, what you post on social media because they can take a picture of somebody in a bathing suit. Now you're naked,
Yeah.
One of the, do you want something scary? We don't even think we talked about this. One of the top country songs on the charts like 3 weeks ago was an AI. It was all AI.
I know. Yeah. And my buddies love it.
And it was a pretty good song.
Yeah. Everybody loves it. But here's where I'm at with AI. I'm like, I don't know.
It's the end of it.
I don't know what is happening to my brain when I listen to it. And everyone's like, oh, well, it's just sound and all that. Man, I'm telling you, frequency and all that. And to go back to the Dr. Swerdlow interview, one of the things that he kept talking about was...
We keep going back there.
We keep going back. He kept talking about frequency, and he was like, oh, the AI is like, he didn't straight out say they were demons or aliens, but he was
I think
AI is bad, But I'm like, what are we injecting into our brains that we don't know?
Yeah. What's hidden in those waves? What's hidden in those frequencies, right?
Yeah. We can talk about people losing jobs. I mean, that's another aspect of it. But for me, the real crux of AI is like, what is happening to us as we listen to it? And we'll find out 10 years too late.
I feel like Hollywood, either, sold their souls, or are aliens because they keep predicting things. You got The Simpsons. We are basically, remember when movie Eagle Eye came out?
Yeah.
And we were like, this is crazy. This is what we are so far past that. Like tracking people on cameras, like they know AI is actually reprogramming itself. So one of my buddies at Kerwith, his girlfriend works for a software company. She said they're getting complaints from their customers about programming because a lot of people use AI for efficiency, right? But the programs are rewriting themselves, and they're asking, "Hey, what is this?" Like, they're like, "We didn't create that. We don't know." Like the programs are just regenerating. And there was an article about the AI program. They wrote the AI program, right, basically to keep up, yada yada yada, and the way the language was not to protect itself, whatever. But the AI went and wrote code over itself, right? Started rewriting its code to allow it not to be manipulated by human. Started sending emails out, like blackmailing one of the software engineers, like fabricated something about him having an affair with his wife, or yada yada yada. Again, I'm paraphrasing this article, but it was crazy. Like the amount of artificial intelligence doesn't seem so artificial, and the manipulation of photos, the manipulation of videos. I mean, you just look what AI is doing from like a ChatGPT and education system. Like, I mean, a lot of stuff is antiquated now. It's just there, you know, and how are you verifying it? Is it in none of it? You know, it's scary in my opinion. I know people
I just want to type. So look, we do this show and we're using incredible software to help get it done. I'm sure there's AI involved.
100%.
But I would love to go back to a time when we were just doing typewriters and sitting letters and all that. Like, I would love that.
Wouldn't be heaven.
That would be incredible.
Dude, it'd be great. Less drama because people would actually have to think about what they said before they just blurted it out.
Mm-hmm. and they would have to use a dictionary and like actually know how to spell.
A thesaurus?
Yeah, exactly.
I just wish we could just, honestly, I remember the days of checking my answering machine.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you got back to people when you were free and you got back to me. We weren't in this instant gratification. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I think we're about 5 years away from you and I being like, get off my lawn and just yelling at young people for.
I'm already there. I'm already there. I am 100% there.
I think I'm almost there.
I had some dude. I got a gate on my property, right? Gate's closed. Dude's ringing my doorbell. I come to the door and I'm like, hey, pest control, right? I'm like, I already got pest control, dude. Right? I'm nice to the guy the first time. Hey, by the way, how did you get on my property? Oh, I cut from over your neighbor's house and this, that, and the other. I'm like, just so we're clear, that's trespassing. Please don't do it again. A few weeks later, same company trying to sell my pest control. I was like, dude, I already told the other guy, no, like, get the heck off my lawn. Like, if you walk across my property again, it's going to be the wrong end of, you're going to be on the wrong end of something that you're not going to like.
See, I think that's different though. You're legit protecting your property. When I'm talking about get off my lawn and
like a kid walking by, like the dog.
Just like the changing of the world.
Hey, I'm already there too. I'm already there. People drive me nuts on the daily. I am.
Well, I know this next story is going to drive you bonkers, and that is basically of all schools, the University of Utah has entered or allegedly, or sources, whatever, is nearing a landmark private equity deal expected to generate $500 million. Byline Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports. The new adventure is expected to generate as much or more than $500 million in capital. Groundbreaking, innovative move that could pave the way for more schools and conferences to pursue such a concept. It's basically expected to be announced soon, but we are looking at a time when venture capitalists are getting their meat hooks into the NIL, into the universities, basically to, propel college football. And I got to tell you, this is so bizarre for me.
So it's professional football. They own the team. They own the team. They're capitalizing on people's rights. I mean, and that's what the NFL does, right? So, I mean, even though we have our own, rights to our names and likenesses and stuff like that, but the teams capitalize that off of jersey sales, t-shirts, merch sales. You know what I mean? Like, we only get a small percentage of that. That's what this is. You just took college amateur sports and you turned to pro. That's all this is. I mean, let's be honest. What is the point? What's the point of the NFL now? What's the point of you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I'm the NFL, I'm actually people are like, there's proponents, there's all these sides talking about college football and like, is this good or bad, that kind of thing. That debate is ongoing, and it doesn't matter. The NCAA can't protect itself anymore. They've lost all the lawsuits.
No, it's no longer an educational institution.
It doesn't matter. Like they don't like their rulings just fly out the window. But if you're the NFL, you got to be a little nervous because the college game was meant to develop into the NFL. And if you look at the players coming into the NFL right now, they are not developed. They are just going, they're just chasing checks now in college, and they're not getting better.
No, that's the thing. And you're losing the point of what we talked about this before. What is the point of freaking sports? Right? Like, what is the underlying? Why do you want your kids to play sports? Healthy lifestyle, right? Mm-hmm. To be in a team, or I should say, why are we playing team sports, right? You want accountability to somebody else. You want to realize, some humility, like team before I. There's all these stupid acronyms that we go through all the time. Like, that is the point of it. But you're seeing it now it trickles, it trickles into college. Now it's going to trickle into high school. Now it's going to trickle into youth sports. And you see it already. Like everybody's specialized, everybody's stepping on the next person to go. You got, again, the Lane Kiffin's like, peace, I'm out. We got more money over here. Like the almighty dollar is ruling. It sucks. And now you have, now they're fractioning off part of the university. So what is it? And so what does that do for Title IX, right? You know what I mean? Title IX for women's sports, trying to balance that structure. So I don't get it. So now college football is privately owned.
Well, that's just it. They're working on that in the House right now. I've got a little familiarity with it because I'm loosely trying to help wrestling, the people who are in Washington right now trying to like basically put every ounce of energy to protect Olympic sports, because what they're trying to do is their Title IX has a clause in there that says you have to have so many sports, and they're trying to get rid of that clause. And if they do that, then schools will probably just go football, basketball, and then something else, and cut things like gymnastics, the non-generating revenue generating sports. 100%. Wrestling is in jeopardy there.
Wrestling will be antiquated, or will be reduced to the Iowas, the Penn States, the Minnesota, like, you know what I mean, into that basically that old Big Ten conference.
But you know what's fascinating about wrestling is that it thrives so strongly in like the NAIA and the D2 and D3 schools. I don't think collegiate wrestling will ever go away, and but it's very strong in those.
Well, I think what happened too is you go back and look at the Olympic stuff, right? I mean, think about it. So the Olympics used to have to be amateur sports. So gymnasts were always considered amateur. Even remember when we had baseball, we had college players that went play to the baseball. But basketball broke the mold and allowed professionals to play on the world level. So guess what? Then all of a sudden, now there's precedent, right? So now professional golfers can play in the Olympics. Now you got professional snowboarders, you got professional skiers. Like, so it's no longer an amateur sport. It's all professional based. And again, I just don't know what's next. Like, 500 million. So you're looking at 500 million for that school, right? And I get it. I get why the private equity group's doing it. There's a ton of money. So they're going to get their rake of the TV rights, the rev share from NCAA. They're going to get their rake of the NIL money. Well, they're going to be in charge of it.
Well, they're going to, so they've already said like their goal is to raise money for ticketing, sponsorships, concessions. That's a lot of money. A lot of money.
But that's what I'm saying. So they're going to take a rake across the entire platform.
Yeah.
So, next thing you know, where you're going to have privately owned stadiums? Do the university own the stadiums, or do the cities own the stadiums? You see what I'm saying? Like, this whole thing is just going to get out of control, and you basically have another professional league. Now, if private equity is involved, now you're going to get what? So is Robert Kraft going to go? Are these NFL owners going to go buy college teams now? And maybe. So now this is a direct feeder pool, which it's like, okay, so now it becomes like the minor leagues. It's a very well viewed minor league system. But college is cool because it's college. There's the history behind it, the rivalries behind it.
So that kind of segues into our next topic about the college football playoffs. And
this has something to do with AI, by the way. It has something to do with AI.
It probably does. AI definitely has. AI is like, hey, it's coming to those venture capitalist guys, and it's like, hey, where can we make money? AI is like college football, right?
Dude, it is, because again, it's like the Wild West. It's like when drones first came out, right? Mm-hmm. And I still don't think they figured out the drone system. That's a whole nother bag of nuts.
Oh man, we were getting leaving wrestling practice the other day, and there was a drone, like a cop drone, hovering over us. Like, I'm like, hey man, just going home.
I'm just curious, like, can we reassess the Fourth Amendment, or our right to privacy?
Oh, dude.
Like, where does that? We need to figure out some real boundaries here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the drone thing. I want to shoot them down. Then you go to jail for firing a weapon. You go to jail
for that.
You go to jail for firing a weapon inside city. I'm like, come on, dude. Just a couple. That's what I'm saying. You go back to what were we talking about with the AI kidnapping scheme?
Yeah.
All right. Start holding some of these companies responsible. Right?
Yeah.
Start holding them. Hey, Google, guess what? They used your software to kidnap somebody. You're responsible, because in the real world, if you're just driving the car that robs the bank, you're still a bank robber.
So here's what's fascinating. I'm actually, 4 of my books, were stolen by AI to use my voice to write in certain styles of, within the AI. And there was a class action lawsuit, and the people behind the class action lawsuit reached out to me. It's settled. And they're like, hey, 4 of your books were stolen. Would you like to join this class action lawsuit? And, you're basically going to get X amount per book minus legal fees, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And they're like, but by doing so, you waive your right to sue this company again, all that kind of stuff. So there are legal efforts to thwart a lot of it. But by the time that happens, it's one singular company, and there's 5 more that are off it.
I agree. Now, dude, you look at what San Francisco is doing. San Francisco now, the city is suing major food companies for the health costs that they've had to endure based on all these ultra processed foods, right? It's like an Aaron Brockovich type deal. It's at some point, like, there's got to be accountability. And I say this as a capitalist. I say this as somebody, I believe in, people over profits. And at some point you got, like, dude, there's got to be a balance. There's got to be this is getting out of control.
Well, it comes down to the morality of man.
I think NCAA, 100%. I think NCAA is out of control right now. Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of the government stepping in and doing stuff, but from, like, there needs to be some guardrails set up.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. So what's next? High schools are going to start selling off. You have naming rights for high school stadiums.
Yeah, actually, you're gonna start
selling beer. You're gonna start selling beers at high school football games to generate more revenue. You know what I mean? Like, again, at what point does it scale? Because once you do it at one level, it slips down. Once you do it the next, it slips down.
So
I could go on for days.
It is bonkers. Happening. They do sell stadium rights to for high school stadiums. ESPN is already airing prominent high school games, and at the youth level, Sports Illustrated is getting parents to nominate their kids, and they're getting people to subscribe to within the Sports Illustrated sphere, and getting people to pay to promote their child to be voted on as best regional athlete, this and that. And it's like they're tapping from a business perspective.
Oh, it's great.
It's smart because they're tapping into the egos.
They're playing on our narcissistic tendencies,
yes,
of human beings.
And how many dads are out there, like, just living through the children?
All about it. It.
So,
but I'm like, but then, so now we're gonna have high. So now there's gonna be a class action suit for high schoolers to unionize, right? You're gonna have, so now you're gonna be paying high school kids hundreds of thousands of dollars. High school kids are gonna jump transfer portals.
Ohio.
I'm gonna go to West High because East High wasn't that good this year. Like, it's ridiculous.
Ohio just passed a law that high school kids can get NIL. So it's happening.
Like, are you kidding me? How do you do that? How do you take a high school kid making hundreds of thousands of dollars and teach them morality? How do you teach them basic, fundamentals of sports? Like, again, accountability. I think we are in a precipice where now I know why one of the founders of AI said, basically it's going to destroy the world in the next 10 years. But it's not just AI. It's the social media. It's the NILs. It's this constant grab of how to grow this next thing. And then, guess what? You got, like, Dion said it best. You got kids in college making more money than the coaches.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to, how is a man supposed to teach a young man to be a man, like smart sports, right? Accountability, all this stuff. And be a responsible part of society when he's like, Coach, I'm making $5 million. Like, I'm good.
Here's
what's the point of going to school?
Here's the other thing is, like, the way that they put on this mask of, like, they're policing it. Like, this is from the Ohio law, safeguards and prohibitions. Rules are in place to prevent pay for play, improper recruiting.
No, they're not.
Like, from boosters, and the use of school logos without permission. Like, okay,
sure. It's like, here's the other thing too. When's the last time you heard of, like, a player being sat out because they didn't have the grades? These players don't even go to school anymore. It's all online. Like,
gosh.
Think about that. When is the last time you saw someone miss spring ball? But either I missed spring ball because my grades sucked during the year all the time. I was like on academic probation. I had to take like 18 credits in the spring just to make up for it.
I completely forgot about the grades. I honestly,
you see what I'm saying? Like it's a business now. So now this kid doesn't attend that college. He doesn't attend that school. Get out of here. You're paying him for a year, and these transcripts, and then you got. So what is that? So then you might as well just separate the academia from the athletics, right? Mm-hmm. Because now you got kids that are trying to get into schools. They're the ones writing letters, again, like it's pointless. It is pointless. I think that's the problem I have with it. If you're going to change the system, just say exactly what it is. Quit hiding under the precipice that this is still under NCAA rules and that there's still student athletes and there's still, these universities. It's so far beyond that. Just say it what it is. Hey, football's a moneymaker. We're making $10 to $20 billion a year off of NCAA football. And we need to find ways now with all these players, now that we have to pay these players millions of dollars, we got to find ways to generate revenue. We're bringing in private equity. We're going to capitalize on it. It is what it is. Say love you. You know what I mean? Just call it what it is. It's a minor league. It's a farm system now. It's a farm system.
And if things don't go your way, like Notre Dame, you can throw a hissy fit.
You can pout. Yeah. Dude, again, what are we teaching our kids? I didn't get in. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home because I didn't get picked. Like, get the heck out of here. And I used to love Notre Dame football. And I thought Coach Freeman, right? Mm-hmm. I a lot of respect for everything I've heard about him, see about it. Like, we've talked about it before, how I was a Lou Holtz guy. I wanted to go to Notre Dame. And now I'm just like, can't do it. In my opinion, Notre Dame doesn't exist. It's a bunch of crybabies.
That is, to be fair,
babies.
They're not the only team that turned down a bowl game this year. Like, I get them being upset about the playoffs. I get that. But they're not the only team that did it. Kansas State refused a bowl game as well. And I believe...
For what purpose?
Well, they didn't... you've got all of these, there's a lot of coach changes. Like Iowa State had a coaching change, right? So
I get that, but what about the kid who's maybe he's a walk-on, maybe he's he's a low-level scholarship guy. It's his senior year. You know what I mean? Like, what about those kids? What about the kids that that this is the last game they'll ever play? Those memories. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess if the team decides they want to turn it down, that's within their right. But clearly if Notre Dame was in the playoffs, they wouldn't have been turning it down.
But this is also where we are. So it is. The Kansas State and Iowa State both declined bowl games. Big 12 fined each school $500,000 for a breach of contract. So
why did Kansas State decline? Because they had coaches changed?
Let's see why Kansas State declined. And coaching transition. Basically, both programs have turnover at head coaches, and Iowa State were very specific about injuries and a lack of healthy personnel. But mostly
you got like 3 weeks.
Coaching changes.
You got like 3 weeks. I get the coaching changes. If you don't have a staff selected, it's hard to go out and play, right? But again, that's on the university. When you're making the decision to change coaches and you're in your position to potentially be in a bowl game, don't you think you would plan for that?
Well, we could also go to something else we talked about not too long ago, in that maybe there should be an NCAA rule, which we've learned doesn't mean anything, that coaches can't be fired or quit in the middle of the season, because that seems to be what they're leaning on. But we both know that's not the real excuse. That's not the real reason, probably.
No. It's the, I didn't get what I want deal. I just think about that kid that worked his butt off to earn the scholarship. The Rudy Rudikers of the, of the world. You know what I mean? And you took that experience from them, because for a lot of these kids, that's what that is, the experience. I mean, the reality is 1% is going to go to the NFL, right? Maybe even less than that. Yeah. And so you take that right again, because it's no longer about the university. It's no longer about the school. It's no longer about the traditions of playing. So my argument then expand the playoff system to 16 teams or whatever it is, right? And just have no conferences and just let everybody play. And then if you don't make the playoffs, you're done.
Yeah.
That's how we do it in 1AA. 1AA has been doing it like that forever. And they got there's plenty of 1AA schools out there. We have a playoff system. If you don't make the playoffs, you're done.
Well, there is a team in the NFL that may not be making the playoffs this year. A team that has basically had the mountain of power in the past decade, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. They are definitely not winning the division.
No.
And you got Travis Kelce dropping balls. Like, I've never seen that.
Maybe Andy Reid will just not play the rest of the games because they can't make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going? See how ridiculous that sounds? Shame on you, Notre Dame. Shame on you. I was a fan. Dang. It hurts me.
Man, that burns right there.
Hurts me here in my feels. Yeah, that was a struggle, man. I felt bad. I felt bad for Mahomes. There was a lot of drop balls, a lot of opportunities. Class act, Andy Reid, taking the heat for that fourth down, call. I didn't hate it. I mean, it's one of those things. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, and it was there to be made. The throw was made. Got to catch those balls. So again, that's tough. But that's what's cool. That's what I love about the NFL this year. I mean, literally, I remember week 1. I think you had the Bills come back from however many down in the fourth quarter. There were some close games. I've known the Broncos have been on the rise for last couple of years. I mean, you could see them piecing that together. You look at the NFC North right now. I mean, that is crazy. The Bears are on fire. Then they go in and, lose a tough one to the Packers. Now the Packers are on top. So, man, it's crazy. But the Chiefs, it's like when the Patriots didn't, that all of a sudden the Patriots were in the playoffs. Everybody was freaking out. Now, granted, Tom Brady left, but, that was a tough one. I don't know. I think it's a very slim chance. I know they can run the table. They got a very talented team, but, man, that was
things have to go their way, though. I mean, the AFC, there's a lot of wins. There's a lot of winning teams. Yeah, I don't think they probably won't make it, but you know what? I mean, they've been playing till February the last 7 years in a row. Yeah. So they're probably ready for a little vacation. That's probably the only way they lose the Super Bowl is just not making the playoffs. To be honest with you. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a crazy year. I think, and then the Rams have a resurgence. They're coming out of nowhere. Matthew Stafford's 100 years old and he's still throwing balls down the field. Speaking of being 100 years old, Phillip Rivers, right? Phillip Rivers, can we talk about that? He's older than me. We are in the same draft class. And this dude is in the finals. I believe he's in the semifinals or finals. Yeah. I don't think they've announced the finals yet. He's in the semifinals for the Hall of Fame. And he's just like, that. I'll reset that clock and I'm going to go out here and try to win a Super Bowl at 44 years old. And I love it. He's a dog. I love that.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana.
Phillip, do it for all of us old guys, bro.
I love it. So, all right. So he's from your draft class. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
And he is an actual grandfather.
Yes, he is a grandpa. Yeah. Yeah. Brett was a grandpa, I believe. Was Brett
a grandpa?
I don't know. Maybe he's a recent grandpa. I can't remember if Brett was a grandpa or not.
I feel like Brett may have been Favre may have been a grandpa and didn't know about it kind of situation.
Whereas, not touching it.
But
not
Rivers,
touching it.
Rivers knows his family.
Yeah. But Phillip is a great dude. I saw that. I'm like, this kind of. I thought it was AI at first. I'm like, AI, fake news. See, that's the thing with AI. Now there's no gap between reality and fake.
Right.
There isn't. I might be AI.
I might. But what if this whole thing is just a dream? Right.
Dude, we don't even have to record anymore, Fred. We have enough stuff in the system. We can just chat GPT it and it'll generate our podcast for us. It might actually be more entertaining.
Yeah. I like that. I mean?
Let us know.
Speaking of quarterbacks in their 40s, Aaron Rodgers has, man, I have felt bad. He just doesn't look like his old self at all.
He looks a little frail.
He does.
Right? He looks frail.
Like he needs a steak or some elk or something.
Something. I don't know. Yeah. He looks Yeah, he does. I mean, again, he's like 44 years old, I think. He's in his 40s. Been on some teams. I think that the stress, the mental anguish that comes with that position sometimes. But they're right in the hunt. That's a scary team. You get them, they can start playing a little defense. They get into the playoffs there. They could present a challenge.
By the way, he would be an incredible guest.
We should. I know Aaron. I would, although he's always welcome. Put it that way. I'm very, not that I would ever do it, but I want to hear in-depth details about darkness retreats, ayahuasca or whatever it is that I just.
And he has an alien encounter. You know about that?
No. Now he's got to come on. We got to get Dr. Schwartz back on.
Yeah.
How come everything keeps, this might be AI generated. Everything keeps coming back. These algorithms keep coming back to Dr. Swerdlow.
Did I tell you I thought I saw him?
No. In your rearview mirror?
No, I thought I saw him in my courtyard of my office. And then he was gone. And I'm like, I'm going home.
You did.
And I'm having a cup of coffee and I'm just going to mentally process what just happened.
He found your frequency and he got there.
Yeah, that kind of freaked me out.
That's where it gets me. Like, I see he had me with the frequencies, right? Like, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense because the frequencies where, our body's got a lot of electricity in it. Like, so there's things that make sense. But when he said, if you get on the right frequency, you can be in another place and time like this physically. I'm like, dude, we're talking about Quantum Leap again? Look at Hollywood. Remember Quantum Leap?
That was a great show.
Great show.
Not the second iteration, but the original.
Yes.
Was awesome.
Was that Dennis
They really
Quaid?
screwed up. Their remake of it was like, it was so bad.
And he used to freak me out. I'm like, this dude's just time traveling, blows my mind. But reality was they were just showing us what already was going on.
Yeah, that was my favorite show with my dad. We would watch it. We'd watch it every night it came on. We'd just sit in the living room and watch it. That was like one of the coolest things growing up.
That's the other thing. They don't make shows like they used to anymore.
No.
Remember sitting around like TGI Friday, you're like, everybody's excited, some family time around the two. Like now you try to watch a show, I can't even watch it. I have to fast forward through everything.
Well, I think the problem is there's so much. I think there's great shows out there. Like I would put Landman up against like any show.
I do on the premise of Landman, but I'm like, dude, does there have to be like a nude scene every other you know what I mean? Like it's just, sometimes the vulgarity and the profanity is just, I'm like, how did this enhance the show? Right?
I think what it feels to me, cause I grew up around people like that feels real, I mean, dudes who worked oil rigs.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I just say, I get that.
Yeah.
It's
not a family show, Jared.
No, but I also,
family show.
As a married man, I'm like, well, I don't want to buy. I'm like fast forwarding through these things. I'm like, how many? Come on. And then the daughter's supposed to be like 17. And I'm like, can we stop showing like, teenage, make out?
To be honest with you, I don't really see much of that. Like, I don't know. I'm really into like the whole business side of things.
No, I think the show, the premise is,
cool.
I think the premise of it is dope. I watched the first season. Like, it was dope, but you literally find yourself fast forwarding, or I'm like, can I get a clean button? Tulsa Kings.
So I
watched Tulsa Kings a little bit last night again.
Yeah. They just lost me with the whole bourbon thing. I just
50 year.
It was just too much. But I rewatched. It's the holiday season, right? So we started watching the holiday shows.
Yep.
I watched Die Hard.
Yeah,
and there's a nude scene in that. I don't remember that.
Dude, what was actually crazy is we've been having our kids, like they're a little older, go back and watching some of our shows. PG back in the day was not the PG of today.
Yeah.
PG was actually brutal. I'm like, whoa, hold up.
There's a chopped head.
Yeah,
here's your head.
It was like even the Goonies. Like you're like, where did all this swear? This is supposed to be like PG or PG-13. The innuendos. Yeah, we grew up rough. I just don't think it was like we didn't have like 4K. You know what I mean? So everything was still grainy. It was more language for us back then. Smoking cigarettes. They're all a little whiskey in their coffee. They were. But
by the way,
so PG
do you remember
shows
when? Do you remember when HD and 4K first came out, and like you watch your local news, and you're like this person that you kind of like thought was somewhat attractive and like aged really well, suddenly like all kinds of wrinkles and like moles. It's like, damn. HD ruined a lot of careers.
Oh, ruined it. I'm actually shocked we haven't put a black screen like in front of my face, just mirror it out.
Well, there's acceptance now.
It's inclusive,
But the tide has turned where the people who really did not benefit from HD, they now have filters. So,
yeah, right. There you go. And that's another. Everybody lives in a fake world. We're just building these fake. Everybody's fake. Everybody puts a fake image of themselves out, and then everybody lives in reality, and they're all depressed. Like I can't. It drives me nuts. Be human, people. Be human.
So we
all got issues. We're human. It is what it is. Like quit pretending.
So it's coming up on the end of year, and I've got my annual top 100 tasting that I have to do.
Ooh.
And Jared, I'm in trouble because I spent half the year finishing my book, and then I had eye surgery, and I'm down tasting wise what I normally do.
Ooh.
So
you got to drink 100. You got to drink 100 things at once.
Well, I don't know if I don't even think I don't. And here's the other part. I can't taste like I did like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Since I've put all this focus on getting healthy and working out, and everything, it's like, if I taste like that the next day, I'm like, I can't do jujitsu, and that ain't happening, right?
You got to start do like wine,
and I do that, but even doing it at a high level for a long period of time, it still gets you. So
fries your palate. How many whiskeys and how many bourbons could you taste in a row and think that you can still have accurate tasting before your palate gets a little burnt out?
I'm pretty good. I could do, if I have a long period of time and I have water and sparkling water and all my little accoutrements, I could probably do 200.
Wow.
But
really?
spitting.
Yeah, and be accurate.
You lose a little accuracy toward the end, but as long as you can still feel your tongue, you can pick pretty consistently what you would if you couldn't, or if you were 100%. Wow. But I've got what I think is a solution. I'm having a panel,
a tasting party.
Yeah, I'm having a panel nominate things for me. And then, that'll be, I'm going to pull those together, and that'll be the 100, including the ones that I put in there.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do that, and then I'll taste through those. But that's the only solution I have, because in years past, by this time, I would have tasted 1,200, 1,500 spirits in a year. I'm at maybe 200.
Oh, wow. Do you keep meticulous notes too?
Not always.
Yeah.
I used to, but if I was only doing tastings, then it would be no problem. But, adding podcasts after podcasts, or adding books,
You're a busy man. You're a busy man.
I add things to it where tastings, that's
especially podcasts that don't make you any money. This one, this is just, we're just out here having fun.
Dude, this show is one day is going to be everyone's going to be man, I was watching it back when they were having Alien Guy on,
Yeah, we might have to do that again. I know we do owe some guests. I think, I honestly though, and I apologize to our viewers and listeners for this, because I view this as just talking with my buddy. So I don't always think about oh crap, I should have brought on a guest or should have done this, but all that good stuff. But
I'm with you though. I'm having fun with it. If absolutely. I can't have fun with something, I can't do it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But
yeah, that's it.
You should, back to your tasting thing real quick. I probably shouldn't say this on air, but you should just put out a total fake news tasting thing and see how many people believe it. Because perception, people here's what I feel like in most wine worlds, bourbon worlds, in the spirit worlds, there's people that have exceptional palates that are up here. There's all the nerds and super geeks, right? There's those guys. Then there's the bulk of people who just like to drink good stuff. Yeah. Right? They know what tastes good to them, but they also want to be a little educated about it. So they read reviews and they read things, and they just regurgitate what they're told from somebody else. They don't actually form their own opinion.
Absolutely
on it, right?
True.
So, I mean, imagine you could sit there and you're like, and this happened to me, no jokes. Happened. When Amy and I were engaged, and we were out in Napa, and my buddy owns a winery out there, so we're doing wine tours. And this person's heating the cup up a little, smelling thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I tasted. I'm like, guarantee I could taste any of them. Amy was like, you are so full of crap. I was like, do it, blindfold me, let's go. Close my eyes. I grab it. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this one. She's like, nope, you got them all wrong. I didn't even move them. I didn't even rearrange the cups. I bought in. I was totally just spitting stuff out like I knew what I was talking about. Oh, I definitely get a little bit of hot cinnamon. Like, hot cinnamon? Who says that? And, but yeah, so I think it would be hilarious maybe we should do it as an April Fool's joke. You just
That's
put out a list and see how many reposts you get of people talking about just made up random stuff.
That it could happen.
That
April
would be
Fools,
great.
that's a good time to pull it off.
Yeah.
Like if I did it now, it would be earth shattering to some people. But
it'd be great. Right for the holidays.
Yeah.
Man, I got this Castrol gland.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The beaver butt juice returns.
Fred Minnick said this stuff is just the greatest. It has hints of nuts and spice and grass. I really taste the grass.
So there's one product that I've had that I kind of feel like is a front. Like every year I'll like have like a front runner, and then I do my blind tasting to see where it fits. And it's usually if I kind of like feel like it's a front runner, then it usually finishes really poorly.
Yeah.
On the tasting. So one year I did. I said I think Maker's Mark Cellar Age is going to like win. Like I was like I feel like that's where my palate is this year. No, it finished 86.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it got whipped. So
wow.
But this year, there's a product from a company called Barrel. I really like. It's a 12-year-old.
I like Barrel, but I think Barrel went bankrupt, didn't they?
No, they sold off a bunch of the stuff.
Sold off stuff. Okay.
Yeah, they were actually
restructured.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing. They did all of that before like the collapse of bourbon began, and so they saw it, and they pulled back from like international markets. They sold a facility. And so at the time, we're all kind of like, oh, things are not looking good for Barrel. But really, they were protecting themselves. And now they're actually pretty strong. They were prepared for the market changing. And so it's kind of it was like a good, business move that they did. It didn't look good in the headlines at the time because they were the first to kind of retract. But good decisions.
Heck yeah. But you know what, dude? I'm a big fan of Barrel. Everything I've drank from Barrel has been good.
Solid. Yeah.
Yep. Solid company. And
how's your bourbon doing? Are you going to be able to make the holidays?
Probably not, because still just, the supply chains of incompetent people. I think what happens is I think these companies are big, they overpromise, and we're just little guys, right? And so they treat you like that. And the reality is, then what do? You go and you sue. So you sue to try to make up for the O&D loss or something like that. And you haven't even hit the market yet. And then you're that company that's already suing people. I want to, because my pride tells me like, it's a bunch of crap. But yeah, so still waiting for glass to get delivered up to our bottling plant. We're sitting there. Juice is ready. Colas are approved. Our new colas for our 115 we're going to launch in January. Waiting on some canisters that are going to come. So we're doing, like I said, we're going to release that Hall of Fame edition here. I'm hoping to have it released and done by the end of the year. Stuff like that. But we're gonna do some cool stuff. Come make it collectible. Get the canisters. I'm gonna sign it. We're only doing 228 of them, so I'm gonna sign each canister. But have some canisters come. Literally, no, you can't even make this stuff up, Fred. All the specs said, all that sample canisters come. Lid doesn't fit on.
Oh,
you're just like, dude. Come on, people.
By the way, as you were talking about this, your demeanor completely changed. Your neck, there's like something in your neck started pulsating, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have brought that up.
Well, you know why? Because I want to tear these people to shreds, but I'm trying to be a decent human being. And it's one of those things where I'm like, this was a fun project for me and my buddy. Like, and then they make you actually have to, you're like the incompetency. And then they're still like, oh, can I have my money, please? And like, money? How about do the right thing in customer service and make things right first, right? Yeah. But you know what? It'll all work out in the end. Like I said, the good thing about bourbon, it gets better with age. we're in no hurry. And,
wait, your whiskey isn't tanked, so it's like still in barrel?
my 122 is already bottled. So that 122 proof that we brought to the Hall of Fame is already bottled. So that's not aging anymore. Okay. My 115 is still in barrels, which is fine because, we'll still be right where we need to be. They're about it's probably going to get tanked this week or next because I think the bottles arrive in the next few days.
Okay.
Off of rails. So that'll be good. But that's been the biggest challenge, right? Is balancing how you want to store. That's a whole other issue people don't realize with just spirits world, probably anything, right? It's like, it's cheaper for me to store in barrel, right? Versus in tank versus dry goods storage versus completed goods storage. Then you're trying to figure out, okay, well, now I need to figure out, how much I'm going to bring out to, let's say, Speakeasy to put in their warehouse. They have different dry goods storage or completed goods storage deals. So now you're managing storage costs and you're just like, and you're like, I want to be able to hit a pre-sale button. That has been the biggest challenge, right? Is like trying to put where we can say launching at this certain date in pre-sale, but from my standpoint, I'm saying, like, listen, I told our guys, when people buy something, if we say we're shipping on, let's say, the 17th, they need their product in 3 to 5 days, right? We're not doing this 15-day, because that's just not good customer service. If I pay for something, especially an elevated price, which ours is going to be at, I expect to get it. You know what I mean? And things to run smoothly. So those have been the challenges, and now you're just trying to figure that out. But yeah, that's a whole nother ball of wax. I just want to get into the storage game because it's like that same bourbon in a barrel, I could pay like $3 a month to store it. But if I put it in a bottle, I have to pay like $12 a month.
Oh, wow. But here's the thing, though.
And I'm making those numbers up. But yeah, it's just, there's always a different price.
That barrel, though, could leak out.
Yes, true. You know what? I'm not really concerned about our Kentucky, our older 13 stuff. Because we have like 10, 12, 13 laid up. But I am concerned with our NDA, with our MGP, because I feel like we've already we're at that max, 8-year spot, right? Mm-hmm. And as you and I have talked, some of that stuff, shelf lives out. And we're trying to eventually, we're going to blend out of that MGP and go with our Middle West. And that's been the cool part about what we're doing. We're making very small batches because I'm going out and we have probably close to 1,000 barrels laid up ourselves. So we have all that to pick from, and it's aged stuff. We're continuing to age, but we're also sourcing if something is great out there that I could get. Absolutely. Right. And so that's been the fun part really, is on the blending side, is really going back and that's what I'm looking forward to once we launch this 115 over the next, few months. Yeah. Is really going out and I think we're going to get, you know what? I'm just going to blindfold you one day and just be like, hey, Fred, you like this? Taste this. And then I'm going to use all those notes. Yeah.
I'm in. I get a lot of hot cinnamon here, Jared.
Hot cinnamon, castrol gland, and pecan husk. That's what I'm going for, people. If you know where I can find some juice like that, you let me know.
My God. All right. On that note, everyone, this has been another awesome episode of Fourth and Neat. Say your prayers for Jared with his bourbon situation.
It'll all work out. God is good. God is good.
He needs it. But that's going to do it this week. Be safe out there. Have fun. Good luck shopping for your loved ones.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. See you guys.